Welcome to Technical Foul. Welcome to the studio. I'm Jake Freud, and today I'm going to teach you guys how to read and interpret a gambling line. We're going to talk about spreads, over-unders, money lines, what all the numbers, phrases, and what all that represents. This may be a video more for people who are just getting introduced to gambling, but with companies like DraftKings, FanDuel, Penn, National Gaming, Barstool Sportsbook, constantly expanding and with new states legalizing gambling all the time, it's always a great opportunity to get into the game. But all these companies are offering such great promo deals to get involved anyways. So let's go ahead and look at a line. Bam! Ohio State versus Clemson in the upcoming college football playoff semifinals. I'm going to teach you how to read all these different numbers and what they all mean right now. We're going to start with the most important one, and that is the spread. The spread on this game is 7.5. You can see Clemson is listed at -7.5, -7.5. Now that means they're 7.5 point favorites. The team that is in the negatives is always the favorites. So if you ever see a team like Alabama, Clemson, Ohio State with a plus sign next to them, it's a very rare situation. What that means in terms of how you handicap the game with a spread is, in this instance, you're going to subtract 7.5 points from Clemson's final score. So the final score is 35-28. Subtract 7.5, it's really 28-27. Ohio State would cover in that situation. Conversely, you can add 7.5 points to Ohio State's score. Make it 5.5 to 35. Next, you'll notice the most important number in all of gambling next to the 7.5 line, and that is -110. What does -110 mean? -110, you probably heard it referred to as the vig, the juice, the odds, whatever it is. It's the single most important number in sports betting. It's the reason why this industry exists in the first place, and it's how the bookie makes his money. Here's how it works. -110 means you need to bet $110 to win 100. All of these odds, all of this vig is predicated on a unit size of 100. So if it's -115, you have to bet 115 to win 100. -120, you bet 120 to win 100, so on. If it's plus, it's the opposite. You bet 100 to win that amount. So if it's +110, +115, you bet 100, you win 110. The reason why -110 exists, the reason why the vig exists, goes like this. If I bet $100 on Clemson, I'm only going to win $90.91 back. Where does that other $9 go? Goes to the bookie. And let me explain how that works. If I bet $110 on Clemson to win 100, and you bet 110 on Ohio State to win 100, the game comes, let's say Ohio State covers. I lose all 110. You get your 110 back, plus your 100 for winning. But the bookie collected $220 total. He paid out $210, collected $220, that's $10 profit. The key to interpreting any gambling line is understanding this following statement. The bookie is not trying to trick you. The bookie is not trying to fool you with the line. The only thing the bookie is trying to do is trying to get equal action on both sides of the line as to maximize that -110. That's how odds change happens in lines. A lot of money comes in. Let's say, for example, we can use this example before because Clemson opened at -6.5. -6.5, enough money came in on Clemson that the bookie need to entice more money to bet on Ohio State because they want equal action on both sides. That's how they make money in the long term. Sure, there could be plenty of games where there's 90% of the money on one team, and that team doesn't cover. Fade the public is a thing, but the bookies aren't trying to trick you. They don't want that necessarily to happen. What they want is equal money on both sides, so they'll change the line, they'll change the odds to encourage people to bet the other side. Let's move on to the next topic, the next line, the next item here on the gambling line, and that is the money line. This is a much more simple concept to understand. No points, no spread. Who is going to win the game? Leave everything behind. Who's walking out of that stadium with the W? That's all the money line is. Clemson, they're -310. Ohio State, +250. So again, minus, negative, they're always the favorite. So you have to pay $310 to win 100. Ohio State, you bet 100 to win 250. As simple as that. Who's going to win? But you got to pay a very, very steep price on the vig. if you want the favorite. Moving on to the next, I think this is probably the most important and the biggest bet after the spread is the over-under, the total score of the game. And this is very simple. Take Ohio State's score, you take Clemson's score, you add them together, and if it's over that 66.5 number, and you have the over, you win. Pure and simple. Likewise, with the team total, you're betting on what that one team will do. Is Ohio State going to score more or fewer than 28.5 points? If you think they're going to score more, you want that over, you got to pay that minus 125 vig. Likewise, with a regular over-under, minus 110 vig the entire way. The bookie is not trying to accurately guess the exact total that the teams are going to score. They only want equal money on both sides. So hopefully this video can teach you a thing or two about how to read a line, how to interpret what all these numbers mean. Leave any comments you have, any questions about gambling in the comments below. Please subscribe, Technical Foul, follow me on Twitter. I'll see everybody in my next upload.